Welcome everyone to another Conversations in the Void. I am Graver, joined by my off-screen producer Salem. We have an excited show for you guys tonight. I am pleased to announce our guest. She is an amazing film writer, director, producer, actress, really everything under the sun that she has done. I had the pleasure of helping to show her movie on our Found Footage Discord server. So please welcome to the show, Michelle Nessk.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for
I am
being
doing
here.
very well. How are you?
Good. Oh, Laurel's already here. Hey, Laurel.
Hi, Laurel.
So this has been a couple months in the process getting you here, but here you are. I'm ecstatic.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Yeah. I really loved the episode that you did with Tanya Atomic.
Mm-hmm.
So
amazing. She was an absolute blast. I got to know her through, Jackie Newman-Jones. And so now I got to know you through the Found Footage Discord server and Tanya as well. So welcome.
It's a tiny world.
It is. Yeah. And you are the Pacific Northwest, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I am. See, thanks to the internet, here I am in Chicago talking to someone from the Pacific Northwest about what you do. So let's start off with some introduction questions here. So what really brought you into the world of filmmaking? Was there anything that you watched as growing up? You're like, hey, I want to do
that. When I was very little, and I've said this a few times, but I love telling it. When I was very little, my uncle Johnny would come, and when he was there, I got to watch horror movies, and we would watch horror movies, and he dressed me up as Elvira, and it was really cool. And they were all skaters, but they listened to all kinds of metal and butt rock. So I'd be headbanging to Shout at the Devil, and it was a lot of fun. And then when he'd go, I'd have to sneak up and look at the TV guides, and everything, and then figure out when I could catch a horror movie. And then I started finding giallos on Canadian television. Mm-hmm. And that's where I discovered Sister of Ursula, and then Possession, and Dario Argento, right? Yes. And so I started catching all of this, and it was a mixture of being excited because there was boobs, and then the other part was it was just so phenomenal, the coloring and the framing, and then the way everybody is just there was no such things as an overreaction in those films, and it was Barbara Magnolfi, actually. She kind of became this muse for me, especially after I saw Suspiria. And I was about 9 years old, and I was so inspired by her that I wrote a story called Mother's Day, Cicadas. And I was very excited about it. And then I put it away. And then I picked it up again when I was about 14. And I was like, huh. And I redid or added some stuff to it, and then I put it away. And then I saw Gamers, Darkness Rising from Zombie Orpheus, who I am working with right now. And sorry, yeah, oh, so cool. Sorry. And I picked it back up, my script again. It was turning into a script, and then I put it away again. And I started making films after Darkness Rising. And after that, I'd been making films for a few years, and the come around is really cool because Barbara and I were celebrity guests at a convention, and I don't know why they had me. Okay, I don't know why, but they did, and I was grateful. And we happened to be represented by the same agency at that point. And so she wanted to be introduced to me, and then I wanted to be introduced to her for sure. And, and then we ended up talking for a beat, and it was really cool. She's so lovely. And then I hear back again a couple months later, or a few months later, that she wanted to make a movie with me. And I was like, well, hang on a second. And then I went and pulled out my old journal with Mother's Day cicadas and I polished it up and threw it over to her. And she was like, okay, let's do this. And then I made Mother's Day cicadas with her. And it's still in production. And I'm really excited. The short version was finished and it premiered at CryptoCon Seattle. And it played at a number of other places as part of my horror anthology series, Horrors of the PMW. Which I predominantly, I make it seasonally as full feature. And it's a collection of different filmmakers' works, including independent filmmakers who, don't know where to get their films. So I give them a list of film festivals and I'm like, let's put it in this. It's good. I like it. And then, so yeah, that's how that was a really long answer. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. This is what we're here. We're here to talk horror and our path to where we've gotten to ourselves in life at this point in time. You talk about like Argento and everything else like that. Do you recall, like, do you have a vivid memory of like what your first horror movie was overall?
My first horror movie. Hang on. God, I think okay, I want to say that it was I'm so sorry. I'm like spacing all of a sudden.
Oh, no worries.
Because like there's like various ones that like I swear might have been the first. Mask of the Red Death, I think.
Ooh, the Vincent Price one.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I first saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
I'm
pretty sure.
Yeah, that is what I always call a stage production in a movie. He was theater with everything, with set designs, all that stuff. So I absolutely love all the old Vincent Price stuff for sure.
Me too. It's his work is such an inspiration. It's right up there with Giallo, like the visual imagery and like the way everything feels so sumptuous.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to suspend disbelief with those because like all of your senses are engaged. So
I agree with you with Giallo. It's Suspiria, especially very bright, vibrant colors, very extravagant set pieces, and it was just natural progression of the Vincent Price era of the Edgar Allan Poe stories too. So we've done a few episodes of Argento and Fulci here on our other show that we do. So it's always a blast to watch stuff because it's some stuff that we never got to see growing up necessarily.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Canadian television, because we didn't do cable. And so like Canadian television was where you could go to hear curse words and see the films unedited and also just very obscure things like flesh-eating mothers. Have you ever seen that one?
It's been a very long time, but yeah.
Yeah. When I saw that as a little kid, that was cinema. So like that was cinema. Maybe that also is a motivator to make film. Maybe, probably. Going back and watching it again, I think so.
Yeah.
It's a great film. It's very camp.
Oh yeah. I love all that stuff. We love all things horror. But here's the hardest questions. I always put people on the spot as opening questions. What do you think is the most overrated horror IP that exists? You could say it could be anything. It could be movie, TV show, something you just don't understand. Like, how did this make, let's say, $1 billion as a franchise?
I don't think I have one. Like, I think when it comes to genres and overall art that people make, I think, I don't know what the word would be, but to build a parallel for it, I think I'm polyamorous when it comes to art. So there's nothing that I don't think shouldn't be there because it's like it's all going to be, it all has its moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there was an IP where I was like, why do we need this? It would be the Creeper,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know, and that's because of Victor Salva. But
Right.
like otherwise, like I honestly, I think everything has its place. Like I'm excited because I'm gonna get Ernest Scared Stupid soon. Like there's nothing that like it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So on the flip side, what do you think is most underrated horror IP that you can think of that someone goes, you go, I can't believe you haven't seen this. Let me tell you all about it.
Okay, so as far as like an underrated IP, even though it's got a lot of mainstream going on with it, I would have to say Final Destination. I don't feel like it gets the respect it deserves. All of them. All
Right.
of them. Like there's something so exciting about watching them and then just like being like, I wonder how everybody's gonna go, you
Right.
know? And so as I actually have a few different scripts myself that I've written that I'm like I keep trying to work up the courage to pitch, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because I really want to do a Final Destination. I think it might be one of my most favorite
Yeah.
franchises out there.
I think it's getting rebooted next year, this year. I've heard talks of that.
I don't want it to be rebooted. I just want it to keep going forwards and backwards. Why not? And like honestly, we're there with these people, and these people are not getting factual things. They're just hearsay, right? Like telephone.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you even like have a canon issue, because what exactly is there that's canon other than your in-depth design? It's
Right.
every person who has something to say. That's an unreliable narrator times 1,000. So it could be the most continuous IP, which makes it even more fun because you can loosely tie in everything.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw set pictures of like Tony Todd coming back as his character of the Mortician. So
Nice.
and maybe even getting a backstory and a little bit more lore into him too.
Yeah.
I think we definitely need that. Yeah, Lore's right. Yeah, those are great movies. I thoroughly enjoy them. You know, I even like the last one where it ties back into the very first one too. You know.
I liked the last one.
All
I
right.
want
Well,
more.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into you, Michelle. Here, let's talk about you and what the works you've done. So talking about but I'm horrible with pronunciation of things, but O Unilateralis. Close, right?
Oh, O as in
Mhm.
Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. So
Unilateralis. So,
unilateralis. So like lateralis, like the Tool album,
mhm,
but uni,
yeah. Okay.
you know, yeah.
So like I said, we had the distinct honor of airing that on our Found Footage Discord server, and
Yeah.
I know this is proud work that you've done for your celebration of your birthday and your campaign for the fundraising that you did.
Yeah.
So I like I said, I love that movie. I was there watching it, and I have to ask about, without saying what it is, how hard was to film that scene in the cabin?
At that point,
Mm-hmm.
it was well, it was uncomfortable, but um, it was uncomfortable. That was the point of it, and
Right.
uh, at the point, you know, uh, I think about it a lot because I've gotten a lot of blowback from people where they were like, that wasn't necessary. They could have been suggested, and I was like, well, I mean, we're there through his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the whole thing is to look through his eyes. It's a literal dissection of rape culture between someone like that and their enabler and the target. And we have to sit there and we have to kind of shuffle those cards and figure out, like, is the enabler as innocent as we think they are? Because would, the actual offender be able to get to where they're at any point in life, like every day, without an enabler making excuses for them, And so I felt like it was necessary, and I felt like it was necessary to show it in, there's nothing sexy about it. There's like a lot of movies when you're watching, I mean, it's openly known it's a rape revenge film as well. Okay. And I really don't want to be like, spoilers, she gets raped. I don't want to do that. That's weird. But like, I felt like it was important because, like, every single time since I was a little kid, I'd watched these rape revenge films and it was one of my most favorite subgenres. And gosh, those rape scenes were shot way sexy. Like, if you weren't, like, if it didn't have the overlay of screaming, right? And if it didn't have these cuts where ultra violence was happening, we get these focuses where it's like almost like a Victoria's Secret ad, like, you know what I mean? Look at this body part, and you know what I mean? And it's very interesting how that has been made, because even as a kid, I always felt like, why is this like being pushed so erotically? And I wanted to make sure that what was portrayed here was not that. It was exactly what a person like that would see when they're doing that. So there's no like weird misfire in the brain where it's like, well, it does look really hot, right? No, this is what it looks like, and it's not hot. And if someone does find that hot, then they need to sit with themselves on that and seek help.
Right.
But it's a dissection of rape culture. It's a litmus test of like what kind of people you're there with. So those were the things I was thinking about when shooting the scene. And yeah. So yeah.
So is there any plans to explore your character any further in the continuation? Because, like I said, the cliffhanger, pretty big cliffhanger, and the twist is too.
Let's see. I can say that there are no coincidences in my films. There are no coincidences, and everything kind of ties back together. And so each film is standalone, and including my books. And I have, unless I'm like a co-writer on it, like with American Geniuses, which is a graphic novel I'm working on right now, with Ben Dobbins and Zombie Orpheus. Sorry, this is so cool. Unless it's something like that where I'm coming on to someone else's project, if it's my project from like my little, you know what I mean, it's all connected. And so there are answers there. 333 Illuminaughty, which is another found footage film I made with Tanya Atomic and Deborah Lamb from Beverly Hills Vamp. And that was so fun. That was so fun. There's answers in that one, but there's also more questions. And 333 Illuminaughty is in production right now. So
awesome.
And there will be some answers for O Unilateralis, 333 Illuminaughty, 333, and Just a Prick. Very specifically.
Okay, because I'm interested, because I was going to mention 333 as well, just because I watch that because I go, we don't have answers.
Which one? The one I did with My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, or because that's 333? or 333 or 333 Illuminaughty.
Illuminaughty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I watched that too because we don't have questions about, say, Mary, right? We don't have really questions to, I said, without spoiling anything, what happens to Lily and Rose.
Yeah.
That's definitely on my list of things I wanted to talk about too, just because it's, to me, it's that engaging to want to see more of your work in those worlds.
Well, I'm glad. It's we're really excited about 333 Illuminati. It was going to go a completely different direction, but then the plague happened, and it changed all of our plans. So we were just like, well, what do we do with this now? Like, how do we, And then I got really excited and about a very specific idea, and that's what we're going with. And so there will be a lot of answers.
Okay.
Which is very fun. And it's what I'm building to is a film that I initially set out to make it in 2010, but we lost the footage. Yeah, we lost the footage, which is probably for the best at this point. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And so the next film in the series, not next, but the one I keep, I'm climbing towards, is my film Endure, which I wrote as a continuation to O Unilateralis.
Okay.
And Raw.
Awesome. So, I'm excited. I really am. We do have a couple questions in the chat I want to get to here too, but we don't lose them. If you could go back and remake one film from your past, what would it be? It's an interesting question. It could be none. That's a valid answer too.
Yeah. I don't think any of them. I think I'm really happy with what I have gotten to make. Like I'm like, they might not all be perfect, and I've said that like very publicly that like it's hard for me to sit down and really love my own work. I love making it. You know what I mean? That I love making it, but the whole time I'm sitting there dissecting it and figuring out what parts I personally think are, excuse my language, shit.
Oh, you can say whatever you want here.
Okay, good. Thank you. And then, and hoping that the next piece I make will be an improvement upon that. I didn't go to film school, and I didn't grow up with any kind of, mentors in the industry. I had to find them, and I did. I was really lucky. The mentors I've had are incredible people, and all of them have always said, you're probably not going to like most of what you do, but like, if you just keep going, and the goal is to finally sit down and be like, I love it, look at me, good job, me. But until then, I'm it's mostly been fun, and memories worth cherishing. And I've made lifelong friends that like I am so grateful for, and their peers, and I get to cheer for them when they do stuff, and that's really cool,
Oh yeah, and we were talking before the show too. I'm now in the indie horror world too, and it's just when you find the people that you click with, it's been life changing for me too. Just to go, back in the day when I was in high school, I'm like, I wanted to do all these horror things. I just didn't know anyone at that point in time to do it. But now here I am, able to do collaborations. I have my off-screen producer who loves to write, helping me write scripts for stuff that we want to present to the world.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
an
awesome.
exciting thing. It's the indie community as a whole has been just overall great.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot of good people who are big dreamers.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. So for everything you've done so far, what has been the most difficult scene to shoot logistically for you, do you think?
Logistically?
Mm-hmm. Like, is it something like, with the effects or the way you have the camera, has there been anything that's just like, holy crap, I pulled that off. I'm so glad we finally got the shot.
Yes. Actually, yes. Okay, so we were making Just a Prick, and our DP was Con Buckley. Con Buckley is hands down one of the best DPs I have ever worked with. He is a consummate professional, right? And just a good person. And so working with him is always a pleasure, but then like added to that is his eye. Like, oh, the things that man can do with the camera. Okay. And there's this shot where we've got our prick, working in his warehouse, and we're pulling the camera, and there's like the lobotomist, which is Haley Vesper, in the backdrop, and then we see a woman who's very like mod pop, comes into focus eating her cookie with her little blood donor ribbon, and then like we come in and then we get our prick, and then we pulled focus in a way where we caught Haley Vesper talking to a person who donated their blood, and like just that whole shot. I'm so in love with it. Like it looks like nothing, right? Like it looks like it took no effort, but the amount of time and precision that went into getting it, and how it looked exactly the way we had envisioned, because it was me and Tanya Atomic who made that one. And yeah, I'm sorry, that's my favorite shot. And so every time there are those moments where it's like, yeah, I might not like all of my work, but look at that shot. It's a good shot. But,
right.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. That's why I like to interview people in this world. I love to hear the behind the scenes and what their favorite moments are. And it's amazing to hear stuff like that, and, fair point. Here's another question that it's a great question. I was going to ask you that too. Do you have a favorite indie filmmaker you like to work with but haven't been able to make it work yet?
That I haven't been able to work with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ty Huffer.
Okay.
Ty Huffer. He runs Frankenhuffer Productions. We've been talking for like years about creating something, and we're in the same community, right? He actually just made a really great Christmas horror film. Oh, it's good. It's good. My brain. I was about to say it, and then you asked me, now I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ty. Just Frankenhuffer Productions. He just won Horror Hound. I think he's official selection right now. But it's a Christmas horror film, and it's Frankenhuffer Productions, and they are going to be. It is going to screen at Horror Hound.
Oh, wow.
So, why am anything more than 3 syllables? I get lost sometimes. I apologize. I'll probably remember it in a moment.
Oh, no worries.
But yeah, him. He's phenomenal. And he's just a really nice person. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good combination. You couldn't ask for more. Well, we're putting it out there
Exactly.
into the world, into the internet. Let's make this happen for you, Michelle.
Oh, we're already talking.
There you
go. Oh yeah. it's a matter of availability, because I have a book in the works right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, I have 2 books in the works, and then I'm working on a graphic novel, which is American Geniuses. I'm working on another short story that is a continuation from my nunsploitation piece, which is Devil's Habit.
Okay.
And that was published in the anthology A Scream in the Night too.
Okay.
And yeah, and that actually has to do with my film universe as well, which is really fun. To me, it's fun. I don't know, but yeah.
That's awesome. We'll have to get you on another show. I'm wearing the hat, but they talk to a lot of indie comic book creators too.
Oh, that would be rad.
Yeah, I'll hit you up after the show and through our chat that we have too. So we'll definitely make that happen.
Thank you. That will be very fun.
Oh yeah, yes, those guys are great over there too. So, all right. Well, this time flew by fast for me. I don't know about you. We're about
Wait. Oh wow. Yeah, it went fast.
So I gotta get into some of these hard questions here. What's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie? Well, it changes all the time. All the time. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and say Scream 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfectly good answer. I enjoy it too.
Oh, Melissa does the Billy stab so good. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
Now, Laurel, where is Ishka? Is that the movie?
Where is Ishka? Where is
okay.
She has never been this quiet during a show before. Like, seriously. Oh, hi, Pippi. She's like, no, it's warm. She's like, yeah, she's just like deceivingly fluffy, because like she looks like a very short hair, but she's very fluffy. So in the summer, oh no, oh baby, she's taking my sweater. God, I said her name and she's just like, I want to eat. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Ishka is
right there.
Yeah. Everyone loves cats. Obviously, we have the pet, Discord server channel too. So
yeah.
There. All right. So
I think I've shared her there. I'm like, look at my cat. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And, the other question I usually ask is, what IP would you want to work in? You already said Final Destination, so
yeah,
I'd love to see that. So any advice for anyone getting into the field of filmmaking, writing, directing, even working on graphic novels that you can give?
Just create and submit. Look at contests that are looking for submissions. Look at Film Freeway. Make something short. Make fun little short TikToks and see how, that goes through. There's all kinds of things that if you want to create, but you don't have access to the mediums, you can always build your way up to them. Create with your friends, I have found that to be very resourceful. We trade our time with each other, via bartering, because like, how are we supposed to afford the $10,000 it would be to hire someone to do that job? Well, I'll do this $10,000 job for you if you do this $10,000 job for me. And that's how a lot of us end up making our films, and so like, you're like, how did this happen? How did this happen if you only spent $500 to $5,000? Right? Well, that's how, like, we're all bartering.
Right.
So, yeah.
I can attest to that. I was with Josh this past weekend doing weekend 2 of our film that we're doing. So I'm ADing for him. So.
Exactly.
Right, You ready for your random horror trivia question?
Sure.
All right. A sweet and addictive dessert claiming to have 0 calories turns people into zombie-like
The
creatures.
stuff.
Yes. There you go. There you go. See, you were nervous. You got it just fine.
Oh, yay! But I can't remember Ty's movie's name right now.
Oh, we'll get that. All right. So I know you have events coming up. Give us your pluggers. Where can people find you, and what's coming up for you next?
A lot of things are coming up next. I can't remember them. I'm so sorry. I can't remember them. I'm like everywhere though, and so if you just do like the little at Michelle_Nessk or Zmonsta, I'll likely pop up. I don't know if it's like worth doing that though, because like I literally just use social media for shit posting, and then the occasional like, look what I did, you guys, like with my macaroni art, and then I go back to shit posting. So, you know, it's a wonder I get work.
Well, I know you said you have a charity event coming up in November. You want to?
I do. Yes. I still have stuff to announce about it. I'm excited. It'll be in November. I do it every November, where people show that they have donated to a DV survivor shelter. My sister's house is usually the one I select. And if someone shows a proof that they've done that, then they get their own digital copy of like it's a bundle with it, which includes a digital copy of O Unilateralis 333 and then 333 Illuminaughty, and sometimes some bonus stuff there as well. So
awesome.
It's
awesome.
digital, but you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yes.
I forgot to say. So the Bloodshed is celebrating its 10-year anniversary this year. We have gone radio silent and taking everything offline, and we're excited to announce that for our 10-year anniversary, we will be pushing out our first physical issue.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. So
where can people find? Will that be on your social media when it's ready to come out?
It'll have its own website.
Okay.
Yeah, which will still be thebloodshed.com. Right now it's under reconstruction, and I'm so excited, and I've just been like keeping it quiet this whole time, and I was like, I'm gonna say something in July, and I thought I was just gonna like shitpost it, like, hey, also guess what? But this is good. This is perfect. I hope you don't mind.
Oh no, it's all good. This is why we do the show. You'll have to obviously put it on social media and tag us too. We want to share it out and make sure everyone's aware of it too when it's ready to go.
Awesome. It's the cover this year will be Dylan Mars Greenberg.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. From Shakespeare Shitstorm. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us tonight. It was a blast. I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you so much.
Yes.
For having me.
Yes. And thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to follow all of us at PodOutatNight and on social media, because we have things in the works. We have movies in the works. We have nerdy parody merch in the works too. So I'm excited to that. So until then, everyone have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to not get lost in the void.